This video tutorial of Shape version 5 is about the difference between local coordinate systems and the global or world coordinate system, which is important for small-scale structures that one might add to a larger pre-existing sphere, as we have done in this tutorial. This sphere has a velocity field which is linear with distance and radial, so it renders as a sphere with an ellipsoidal PV diagram of uniform density. Now we are going to add a small knot at a position on the edge of the sphere. So we click on sphere, on the sphere primitive, and then create a new small sphere at the center first, which we will then move to the edge. First, let's make it a little smaller. Okay, and give it a sensible name like knot. And then we want it to have the same velocity field as the sphere, so we go to the sphere, select the sphere, select its velocity modifier, click on the copy button, and then go back to our knot and click on the paste button of its modifier panel and select a simple copy, confirm, OK, and now we have our copy of the velocity modifier. Okay, now we're going to our systems transform tools, and on the left, and select move, go to one of the viewports and drag our object, our knot, to the edge of the sphere. We then re-render and see what happens. Now our sphere appeared at the center, but let's make it a little easier to see since it has turned out green as well. Okay, changed color, re-render. Now we can clearly distinguish it. Still too dim, but anyway, we can see that it's at the center in the PV diagram, which it should not be since we have taken it to the edge, and presumably the velocity should be the same as that of the spherical shell. Now what happened? Our system transform actually takes along the local coordinate system. The local coordinate system goes with the object whatever you do with the system transforms. You can rotate or scale it, and the coordinate system does the same thing. So whatever modifier you add to it will refer to that local coordinate system. So we have to find a way to move the vertices, the object basically, without moving its transform, its local coordinate system. So we have to undo our system transforms. We go to the modifier and delete our translation modifier. Select the translation modifier and click on the delete button, confirm, and our knot is back at the center. Now there are several ways of moving our vertices without moving the coordinate system. One is to use these vertex transform tools. We select our selection tool because we do not need to select all vertices at once, but we will do exactly that right now. The vertices have already been selected, but we can't see the box, the selection box. It has turned out too big. Let's go to the Tools tab on the right and specify the size of the tool, the selection box, numerically. And now our vertices have been selected, and we can use the Move transform. Click on Move, the vertex transform, and drag our object to the edge of the sphere. Now we have a vertices modifier in our modifier list. We can enable or disable it or delete it if we are not happy with our transform. And we can increase the density a little bit to make sure we can see what happens in the rendering. Now re-render. Our spot has become bigger, brighter, and has now moved in the PV diagram to an offset position in velocity. To make sure it is actually coincident with the sphere, it has the same velocity, we make our slit smaller and look at the result, and we can see that it's actually on the ellipsoid of the sphere. Let's transform our brightness a little bit to make it easier to see. Okay, now we have moved our vertices without moving the local coordinate system. And this makes it easier to, or this is absolutely necessary if you want small scale structure be added to a pre-existing larger scale structure with our coordinate system, reference coordinate system, at the center of the world coordinate system. If you don't want to use the selection of the vertices, then you can use other geometry modifiers that also transform only the vertices and move your object without moving the local coordinate system. Such modifier could, for example, be the shear modifier that you set in such a way that it only moves the object in some direction. Thank you very much.